So today, the Nord and Block crew are doing a 2024 mock draft. This is our first one of the 2024 draft, and we got picks 1 to 23 here. So one thing we're doing a little bit different is we're including the first round exits. So we understand that we're in the middle of the second round when we're recording this. You might see this by the time the second round's over. But we're just going to do the first round exits along with the lottery teams. And yeah, we got a lot of prospects to talk about here. Should be a nice, long, and fun video. So LeBlanc James has the first overall pick going to the San Jose Sharks. I shouldn't expect a surprise here at first over, or should I?
Nah. We're gonna go with Mackin Celebrini from Boston U. Just complete player, offensively very gifted, wicked shot, elite skating. He needs to work on a bit of his two-way play, but other than that, like he's probably one of the most complete prospects in the drafts.
Yeah, I think it's consensus. He's the first overall pick. He has been simply unreal for Boston University. He is actually nicknamed the Cheetah, is what he's actually nicknamed. That's an interesting nickname. I actually didn't know that until I did some research. So interesting pick there. But I like Celebrini a lot. I think he's the consensus first overall pick. Adds to a pretty good future with the San Jose Sharks. Second overall to the Chicago Blackhawks. I kind of bounce back and forth a little bit with this. I'm like, what do they need? Do they need do they need another forward to side with Bedard? Or do they want a defenseman? Well, I've seen a lot of ways that you could do this, and you could either flip picks 2 and 3, probably, unless LeBlanc goes off the board. I'm taking Artem Levshinov at, if I can spell his name
Ooh.
right, at second overall. I think that he is an elite defenseman. He's got great size, plays for the NCAA with Michigan State, had 35 points. He's ironically a Russian, but he's playing in the USA. I think that when
He's
you're looking in terms,
Belarusian.
oh yeah, Belarusian. I apologize. That's basically right next to Russia. You know.
Yeah.
So I think when I look at Chicago, yeah, they could go with Demidov here, and I wouldn't be mad if they went with Demidov, but I kind of think that they might go for the defensive end of things. They see a guy like Lev Shinov on the board. They say, hey, maybe we should go for a defenseman, try and bolster that blue line. So maybe I'm really not too sure. If you wanted to go with Demidov at 2, I wouldn't be mad, but I'm going with Lev Shinov today. All right, third overall.
Just go back to your pick real quick. I think like them going with Levshinov or Demidov, nothing. There's no wrong pick at number 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because they just need players. They need young guys, so it makes sense regardless. Number 3, kind of throwing a wrench in my plans. I was actually gonna take Levshinov here, but now you put a wrench in my plans. And I think back, and I think does Anaheim like systematically doesn't really need any forwards. But
Back forward
if
core.
you're Anaheim and you don't take Demidov here, I don't like you go BP. I think that you're gonna go BPA, so we'll take Ivan Demidov from I think he's from CSK St. Petersburg.
He is. I have the numbers up here next to me. Yeah, I think that honestly, like it really wouldn't surprise me though if let's say Chicago takes Levshinov and Anaheim's left with the choice, maybe they go and get a defenseman because I
Like
feel like they do have a really stacked forward core, but I think there's a good chance that at third overall, if Levshinov's off the board, maybe they go for a defenseman. But Demidov, I think, is too good to pass up, in my opinion. I think you got to go with him at 3. If he drops, it's a steal.
Yeah, I think they could go Zane Perrick here if they wanted to go a defenseman.
Maybe.
Or even Z Bjornum. But talking about Demidov, you talk about puck control, skating, great edge work, hockey IQ's off the charts. He needs to work on. He forces plays, as a lot of young players do like to force plays. He's not as physical as a forward. He's only 5'10". And just he needs to be more consistent. I know he played in the KHL, and it's really hard to get those minutes for young guys in the KHL. But he's gotta bulk up if he wants to make it the NHL level, and that's much my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think that Demidov would get a lot of ice time in Anaheim for sure. That forward core, if they got him, oh my god, like better watch out for that. Their defense will be terrible. The forward core will be insane though. So in terms of fourth overall with the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm a little bit out of crossroads here. I really don't know. Kind of thinking, hmm, you could yeah, honestly, I feel like Columbus kind of needs a little bit of everything. They need a forward, but they also, I feel like, would need a defenseman, at least as of right now. I think I'm going to go with Z Boyum at number 4. That might be a little bit of a reach.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going with Boyum here. I'm very high on him. I enjoy I oh my god. I like his play a lot. He's good sized. He is a little bit shorter than some other defensemen, but he's got great offensive talent. He was great in the World Juniors. I think this might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm taking Boyum at number 4. I'm a big fan of his game.
So William, hockey IQ, great. He's very good with laterally moving up and down the ice and like east west north south. Like he's very good at that. He's got good puck control. His skating like just like kind of like Demidov. His skating's really good. We've got to focus on getting into the rush. I think fine when gets into the rush and there's a defensive like play getting him off the puck. He kind of struggles there. He's overconfident. And like those young players like I can do this. You see a lot with Bunham's play, and just he needs to bulk up. He needs to bulk up. So
Yeah, essentially, he's
um,
only 183 pounds, so
but
that's
yeah,
pretty light for a defenseman. Like you see,
I'm
off 209. Other guys like Perrick's 181. Uh, he's actually shorter. Dickinson's 194. So yeah, he's definitely got to bulk up a little bit for sure.
I'm actually like genuinely in shock you took Z Bunham in the top 4. I'm actually like because now for Montreal, I honestly expect you to take Caden Lindstrom at 4, which would leave Montreal in a very, very, very big pickle. But since Caden Lindstrom's on the board, if you're Montreal, you go Caden Lindstrom.
Oh, for sure. For sure. At number 5, he's from Medicine Hat in the WHL at 46 points in 32 games played, if I'm looking at that correctly. Yeah, I think Perrick's the right pick to go there. I spelled Medicine right. Yeah.
You talk about Lindstrom. You're talking about physical, big. He's a 6'3" center, big physical center. Shots really good. He's got great IQ, like vision, like playmaking skills. He's got to work on off the puck play. He needs to work on his skating. As bigger guys need to work on their skating, but that's fixable with coaching. And then he also does tend to force plays. I know I said that the past 3 draft picks, but they all force the play. I don't know how to say
Yeah,
it any
a lot of them do. I agree. I'm with you.
But yeah, Lindstrom, like Montreal's been earning her that big body center for I swear a decade now.
They need to take a forward at the very least, whether it's
Yeah.
Lidstrom or like someone like Berkeley Cannon or even Cole Eiserman. Like you got to take a forward. If they go defenseman again, man, they're not gonna score at all, but their defense is gonna be like locked down. So 6th overall to Utah. So Utah, obviously, this is their first ever draft, their first ever big pick, formerly the Arizona Coyotes. I've been thinking a lot recently about where I want Utah to go. I was thinking like what kind of guys do I want to see them pick? I think if Sam Dickinson's on the board, they gotta take him. First off, not only because he has the same name as I know LeBlanc giving me that look, not only because he has the same name as me. I understand that. But I think Dickinson's the the right size too. He's a little bit bigger than some of the other defensemen that's on the board currently. I know Silyev's the biggest one in this draft, but I think Dickinson's got the right size. He's been spectacular in the OHL for London, forces plays, great offensively, has some defensive things he needs to work on a little bit, but still is a very solid defenseman. And I think that if they take him, I think he immediately gets first pairing minutes. And he's NHL ready too. He's a guy who's going to come in right away.
He's one of the guys who I would say is like he could come in like the next day and be
And
like
that's
a
what
second
Arizona
pair guy.
That's what Arizona. That's what Utah needs. They need a defenseman that can just come in right away because when you look at Utah's pool, they don't have a lot of defensemen. Like the defensive prospect pool is kind of shallow. And additionally, too, I think a lot of their guys are expiring. So they're going to have a chance here to rebuild a whole new blue line. And I think Dickinson could be the front runner for that. So yeah, Dickinson at 6, I think it's the right pick.
So I'm going to talk about Dickinson real quick. He's the best skater of the defenseman. He's the best skater in the draft. Like his skating is so good, he can go up on the rush and still get back to cover his spot. He's that good of a skater. Shooting, booming shot from the point. Like I mean, absolutely booming shot. And then he's just very smart. He's a very smart defensive player. Like he defensively is smart, finds guys for open passes. He's got to work on over rushing. He does go up a lot. Puck watching. He intends to watch the puck and not his man. That's why I've gone to see Sam Dickinson live. I'm very high on Sam Dickinson. I think he's one of the best defensemen in the draft. And just once again, forcing plays.
Yep, forcing plays. That's the biggest motto of this video. All right, 7th overall, the Ottawa Senators. Who you got, Mr. Sens fan?
Yeah.
Oh,
this one's tough because there's a certain player on the board who I thought would not be here, but at the same time, the Sens said they're going to go BPA, and there's one guy the Sens don't really have a type player. That player plays in WHL from Spokane, Berkeley Cadden.
Ooh, wow. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, because what you've been saying to me a lot off camera is that you want a defenseman like Zane Parik or someone like that. Why are you going with are you going with Cadden because he's on the board? You didn't think he'd be here, or
I didn't think I honestly. So we had an interview from Steve Stais about a couple days ago saying he's going to take the best player available and draft by need in the later rounds. And I don't think Cadden was supposed to be here at this point. I thought Cadden would go a lot earlier, but yeah, he's the best in my eyes. He's the best player on the board. I could see them going Parik or Silyev here. Excuse me, if he's on the board. But I think Berkeley Cadden is a guy where you look at Ottawa's forward core, and like their top three is good. You need someone to come in and replace the Giroux type piece who's going to be leaving in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Cadden's best player on the board, and I think Ottawa would be stupid to pass up on Cadden, but I could see them going a defenseman here as well.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think Cadden's fitting at the 7th overall. I honestly thought you guys were going to go with a defenseman, but that leaves me with a pretty easy choice, I feel like, for 8th overall, going to Seattle.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Cadden real quick.
Oh,
Frank, hockey IQ, offensive upside. The dude literally just he gets points, he scores goals. Like I don't really puck control, work on off the puck play. He's a smaller guy, so got to work on his strength and size. And then once again, topic of this video should just be forcing plays.
Forcing plays. That's right. Yeah, I like Cadden a lot. He's actually, when I've done a lot of drafts, he's actually dropped a lot in mine, but I'm really starting to come around on him. I think he's going to go at least in the top 5 or 6. I'm not entirely too sure because it's kind of like a toss-up. Like every single one of these drafts, it's been like the first 3 are consensus, and then everything else is just different every single time. Like it's one of those drafts where it's just so unpredictable. Like things change every single day, and it will be like Ottawa or LeBlanc could be saying right now, "Oh, I want Cadden at 7th overall today." He could want Parik at 7th tomorrow. Like it honestly, it's yeah. I'm probably right too. It's something that like it's the biggest thing with the draft, and especially with this one too. It's so unpredictable. But I think if he's at 8th overall here, I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Zane Parik at 8th overall. I feel like Parik, his size is a little bit of a concern. He's a little smaller, weighs a little less than some of the defensemen on this draft class. But I think for a team like Seattle, I think that they'll give a chance for Parik to develop, maybe get some time down below in the minors. But Seattle's defense isn't that like big of a known defense, or there isn't a lot of big name guys on it. Parik has an opportunity to become one of those big name guys. I don't think he's going to be like a big name first pairing defenseman, but will still be nonetheless a solid top 4 guy on Seattle's blue line. It can make a good name for himself too with the fans.
Yeah, I think I compare Parik a lot to Josh Morrissey when I see him play. He is one of the most highest offensive upsides in this draft for a defenseman. Puck control, shot, and passing, really good. He's not great at defending. That's the one knock I have on him.
He's a big offensive guy, from what I can tell here.
Mm-hmm. Once again, and like he's a smaller guy, so get strength and physicality. And once again, forcing
plays. Yeah, I mean Parik, I think the perfect selection there for Seattle, 8th overall. All right, LeBlanc, Calgary. I wonder who you're going to take.
It's so hard to choose.
Jerome
So
McGinley.
hard here. TJ Ginla. I would be very shocked if Ginla is if he's here. I'm gonna be shocked if they pass on him.
Yeah, I agree. If they pass on Aginla, I'm gonna be like at shock, honestly. And there's a good chance too that Aginla might go higher. Like he might not even be there
Yeah,
when he gets to ninth. You don't think so?
there's rumor. No, there's rumors about Montreal. Ottawa apparently likes him as well. Same with Seattle. So I would be surprised honestly if he was here. But given the way the board's fallen, I could see it happening like this.
I mean, again, as we said, it's so unpredictable that this could happen or the exact opposite could happen. We honestly have no idea. So I think Aginla makes sense there. He has good IQ, awesome offensive forward, and I think would be a player who could fit in just well with the Calgary Flames. And they're a team that's kind of in a little bit of a weird stage right now when you look in terms of like what exactly it is the future going to look like. And I think Aginla would definitely brighten things for the Flames.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Teach real quick. Shot, scoring, great. Hockey sense is very, very good. He's very good at board battles. Like when you need to get a guy in those nitty gritty corners, he's gonna be that guy. That guy comes out on the board battles on top. He's very good at those. Work on his skating, which once again fixable with coaching, strength, and then just defensive play. I know he's a forward, but you cannot always still have a two-way game. He's the first player I have on here that does not force the play.
Oh, wow. Breaking the trend, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I like Iginla at ninth. It would be surprising if Calgary passes on them. Now you get to 10th overall. And 10th overall is I've been bouncing back and forth on who I think is going to go 10th. I've had Consta Helenius as high as 10th. I've had Yakimchuk at 10. I've had even like guys like Liam Greentree at 10 at points. I I honestly don't. Sorry, I've been really bouncing back and forth a lot on these picks. And honestly, as I said, it's very unpredictable. What I've been doing a lot, and I think I'm gonna go with it again. I think I'm gonna go with my God, still so confusing. I'm gonna go with Silyev. I think Silyev's a big boy on that blue line. And I think the Devils, one of the biggest things that they dealt with during the season was a lot of injuries to their blue line. And I think they dealt with a lot of smaller, less physical type defensemen. I think Silyev, big boy, can hit. I already know when he plays his first couple of games, there's going to be highlights of him killing people, like just absolutely destroying people when he hits them. So that is what I expect out of the gate. But Silyev, mostly known for his size, not a big offensive guy. Doesn't have a whole lot of points here. I think he's more of a defensive type
He's
defenseman.
a defensive defenseman.
He stays back a lot. And I think that makes a lot of sense for New Jersey. They dealt with a lot of defensive issues this past year. I think Silyev's a solid pick. However, I'm sure LeBlanc has some things to talk about here.
Anton Philip, once again, 6'7". Dude
Big
is massive. Skating, he's very good skater for being, huge. Like, you don't see guys who like are 6'7", 6'7.5", be really great skaters. Defensively, like the best defender in the draft. Like, he's very physical, can has very good compete. He's got to work on his positioning. He's got to work on rushing plays and his offense. That's really the only knocks I have on him. Silyev honestly is a big wild card for me because I'm not as high on Silyev as I am on other defensemen in this draft. Silyev could go as high as like second, or he could drop down to like 14. That's his range for me.
Yeah, I agree. Silyev's one of the bigger wild cards of this draft, mainly because of his size. If he was a little bit shorter, I feel like he might go earlier, but his size, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Moving into, you have 11th overall. My apologies.
11. This one is tough because once again I've been back and forth on this one as well because look at Buffalo and like I hate to repetitional need, but they have no right shot. Like I think Ottawa has none. Buffalo, all their defensemen, I think except for Samuelson, are left shot.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, and they don't need another left-handed defenseman.
The
But
biggest
they
thing
need a
is too is that sorry to interrupt you. Biggest thing is that right shot defensemen are hard to come by,
They are very hard to
especially
come
in
by.
recent years. So I think I know who you're gonna go with here.
But honestly, I think I'm gonna go with. Well, we'll just take him. We'll take Carter Yakimchuk.
Okay. All right. I like Yakimchuk. I feel like, there's some people that are like not really too keen on him. I think he can be a solid defenseman. He's put up good numbers with the Hitmen, and I think that above all, I think he kind of is what Buffalo needs, to be honest. They need defense. That's the biggest thing. They could go with another forward, but I don't think they really need a forward. The defenseman is the biggest thing
Yeah,
in the
I'll,
defensive
I'll be
draft.
honest. I think this pick gets traded.
Ooh, really?
I think that pick gets traded for because if you look at Buffalo, their prospect pool is already stacked. They need a guy to come in and like help them now. So, but going back to Yakimchuk though, like he's a pure offensive defenseman. Like he's not a defense. He's big though for an offensive D. Offensive upside out the charts. His shot's wicked. Like his shot, stick handling, compete physically. He's got to work on his defensive play. His skating needs work and his speed. Also, he also takes a lot of penalties. Um,
The big penalty guy. I can see that here.
big penalty guy, which is why I see a lot of mocks having go to Ottawa because like big defenseman, yes, like so Yakimchuk, like his skating, I think his skating's the biggest knock on him. Because like you see him on the ice and he's just falling over. I like him as a prospect. I wouldn't be. I think right here for Buffalo, it's a very good pick.
Yeah, I think Yakimchuk's the right pick there. I do agree with you though. I think the pick possibly does get moved. Or Ottawa, I almost said Ottawa. Buffalo's looking for a guy to find like a guy who can come in right now, as you said. Yakimchuk, I think, is going to take a little bit of time before he's fully in the NHL. It's going to take maybe 1 to 2 years, I would think, before he's fully established in the NHL. So, but if they had that pick, I think Yakimchuk is the right way to go. Philadelphia 12. I was gonna go with Yakimchuk because he makes a lot of sense for Philly, but I think if he's on the board, I can't pass up on him. You got Constant Helenius. I think I look at what Philly needs. I would say they need a defenseman, especially in a draft where there's a lot of defense. I feel like you would need a defenseman. But if we're at this point in time and the draft goes exactly how we have it, and the best guy on the board is Adam Juracek, if I'm looking at that correctly, I'm gonna go with a forward. Helenius has played in Finland. Philly doesn't usually draft that many Finnish-born players. They usually go for the Swedes and the Russians. So it's kind of shocking they'd go with a Finnish guy, but I think he's the right pick. He's got solid offensive numbers for a guy playing in the men's league and Liga. I think he's great offensive IQ. I think he's a good player overall. LeBlanc, what do you have to say about him?
I want you to. I want to say something about Helenius. In Liga, they don't count secondary assists. So
Indeed.
all those assists are primary. And Liga is a very defensive league. Like they are like probably the best defensive league over in Europe, to be honest. But he's got 3 zones of play. He's good in the offensive zone, neutral zone, and defensive zone. He's good all around the ice. Compete, high motor, very high motor, playmaking skills off the charts. He's got to work on his puck skills, his strength, and there's concerns that maybe he's not going to be that top line center, but he'll be like a good second line center.
I wasn't expecting for him. I honestly don't expect for him to be a top line guy. I think we do need some a secondary center for sure. With the rumors of Sean Couturier potentially leaving, I think that Helenius would probably be a decent replacement for him, to be honest. And yeah, I like that pick overall at 12. 13th to Minnesota.
I'm going to say one more thing about Helenius. He's also a wild card, like Cilia.
Yeah, him too.
But I've seen mocks.
He can go
I've
anywhere.
seen mocks of him going to Columbus. I've seen mocks of him going to Montreal. So he's a big wild card as well. Minnesota. Now, if I am Minnesota right here, I'm not gonna lie, it's very tempting. It's very tempting. We're gonna go Cole Eiserman.
What I figured. I was wondering when he was going to go in this draft. So Eiserman from the U.S. National Development Program.
He's committed to BU.
Yep.
You talk about where is my Cole? There's Cole Eiserman. Shooting, like it's really not negotiable. He's the best shooter in the draft. Shooters shoot. He is a difference maker on the offensive side of the puck. Power play, great. You need him on that power play. He's got to work on, honestly, I have a few notes here, but he's got to work on, honestly, everything else.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Defensive play, not great. Play selection, could use some tweaking. He's just very inconsistent as well. Like, defensively inconsistent. Offensively, he's fine. defensively inconsistent. Some nights he'll look, oh, he looks pretty good. Then some nights are like, oh my god, like he needs to find his like the team with Johnson is gonna have to find his make him play a role, and he has to be that offensive guy, but also make him like work on everything else because yes, goals do lead to wins, but defensively sound play will win you a championship.
You know what he reminds me? He reminds me a lot, and I think we've said this off camera. He reminds me a lot of Cole Caulfield. Like
Yeah,
he screams Cole Caulfield to me. And here's the thing: Caulfield was projected to go up pretty high in early on in the 2019
yeah,
draft.
he was top 5, top 10 pick, and
Yeah,
it dropped all the way to 18,
15, I think.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Flyers passed on him, and they were 14th. So yeah, Yzerman reminds me a lot of Cole Caulfield. So and ironically, his name is Cole. So it's kind of an interesting pick there. But yeah, Yzerman, I think at 13 is the right area where I expect him to go. Although he feels like kind of a wild card to me too. I feel like he could go high. There could be a team that unexpectedly goes for him. But
I do want to say there's been also reports about Cole Eisman has an attitude issue, which is
that's
reported. And we know guys who have attitudes usually tend to drop in the draft.
there's a lot of guys on this in this draft that I know that have a attitude issue. Liam Greentree being one of them, not on the board just yet. Yzerman too. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. At 14th overall to the San Jose Sharks, you have a couple of choices here. You get into the players that you kind of wild cards. I could see it going any kind of way here. Like some of these players I could see going as low as 20th, some of these guys I could see going as high as 10th. I'm gonna take interesting. I think I'm gonna go with Michael Brandsteg Nygaard at the 14th overall pick.
Sniping the picks away from me, my God.
My apologies. I don't know fond about Nygaard, but I know that he has good size, good offensively, plays with Mora IK. Not too sure what that is actually.
It is in Sweden.
Okay, so yes, he's playing in the Swedish leagues. Doesn't score a whole lot, it looks like. I'm not too sure if that's because it's a more defensive league.
More defensive league in Europe. I'm gonna just talk about him real quick. Physically strong. Dude is up there. Like he's not like you talk about like the top shooters in the draft. He's up there. He's like 2 or 3 behind Cole Yzerman. Wicked shot. I've seen the highlights. Dude's great. Defensively sound. Free zone play, amazing. He's not the fastest guy out there though. Puck control needs some work, and there are questions at the NHL level. Will his upside be there? We saw this guy in the World Juniors for Norway. He was the best player on that team.
Absolutely. There's no one else. I think it really didn't come close. I remember seeing him in the World Juniors as well. Was a very sound player, but I think with San Jose, he's gonna need some time to develop, and I think San Jose is the perfect spot for him to go at that 14th overall pick. Which, by the way, that pick belongs to Pittsburgh, but obviously it's no longer with them because of the Carlson trade. So, 15th overall.
This is where we start getting into the when you start getting into like the nitty gritty, where it's like, I think these are like the top like 14 consensus like picks to go in the top 14.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
I am gonna go off the board here a little bit. We are gonna take. We're gonna take Beckett Seneca here. Actually,
okay. I was wondering when you were gonna take him because you have said to me off camera a lot that you're very high on Seneca. So talk about Seneca here a little bit.
Seneca, I have them. They're all in my notes. I gotta go find them. Oh, here we go. Seneca, like, dude has hands. Like, dude literally has hands. But he kind of gravitates defenders towards him and then gets his guys open to get him off the puck. On the upsides there, shot, passing, puck control is elite. Big hockey IQ. Not the best skater. Consistency's not there sometimes. And once again, forcing plays.
Yep, forcing plays. I think Yzerman, that's a smart pick to go with there. We've seen him be talked about a little bit as going maybe even in like the top
Right.
10. We've seen a little bit.
We've seen him fifth to Montreal a lot. I want to address that. I think he goes fifth if Lindstrom is not there.
Yes, that I think is very possible.
Yeah,
But
Seneca's very boomer bust.
I agree. I agree. I think he could be an amazing winger for the Red Wings if he goes there, or he could be a absolute crash and burn bust. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. At 16th overall to St. Louis. So we're almost done with the lottery teams here. They're obviously they're the best team
They're
in
the
the
last
playoffs.
team, yeah.
Yeah, they're the last lottery team before we get into the first round exits. I'm not too sure. I'm looking at my list here. I think I'm gonna go with um I think I'm gonna go with Trevor Connolly at 16th. It
Ooh,
might be a little bit of a reach, but I like Connolly a lot. I've watched a lot of his play. I think he's been solid in the United States Hockey League for the Tri City. Not too sure what the name of the team is. But
Tri
he's
City Americans.
committed. Tri City what?
Tri City Americans.
Oh, it's what I figured. But he's committed to a college. I can't tell what college that is, but he is going to take some time before he's in the NHL. But yeah, I have Trevor Connolly at 16th overall.
When talking about Trevor Connolly, I can find in my notes here. Aggressive, very aggressive. Like the dude just plays angry. Like I don't know how to say it. Plays angry. His puck handling's really good. There have been a lot of concerns about his off the ice issues, which so I could see Connolly dropping past this pick. But
Yes, I
he's
could
still
too.
a very good player, like a very good player. You look at his stats this past year with the Tri City Storm, excuse me,
That's what
Tri City
I
Storm.
thought Americans was a WHL team.
Yeah, I'm ignore me. 31 goals, 47 assists for 78 points in 52 games. Pretty good stat line. Pretty good stat line. I think he has a talent, but as I always say, talent, hard work outworks talent when talent doesn't want to work hard.
Agreed. Agreed. Out the work ethic is the biggest thing. So Connolly can nail that down. I think he can be a legitimate NHLer. And St. Louis works out too. He's going to take some time, and I think St. Louis has almost honestly nothing but time for him to get
Yeah.
developed and to go. All right, so we move into the first round exits here, with starting off with the Washington Capitals, and that's LeBlanc's pick. Who are you taking at 17th?
Let's go with Leon Greentree.
Okay. I was expecting him to drop a little bit more, but I don't hit that pick.
Greentree, shot, wicked. Shot, wicked. Offensive upsides up there. Like we said before, I'm not gonna name names, but we have someone tell us that he's a bit of a sour apple at sometimes. So
Attitude
there's
problems.
attitude problems. But like Greentree, like he could be an elite winger in the NHL. Like I'm a little higher on Greentree than most. Because I've seen him play and I really do like what I see. Just though, like we said, the character issues are there. Um, but yeah, he could be. His passing is good. His shooting's good. He's a very good player overall.
Yeah, I like Green Tree. I do think though with the attitude issues, it's made me a little bit hesitant on where he's gonna go. At points, I had him as high as like 13th, 14th, where Nygaard's at right now. But the attitude issues really are telling that I think he's gonna drop, maybe even outside of the top 20 potentially here in this draft. So I wouldn't rule it out, and we'll see what goes on there. New York Islanders at 18th overall. I don't know. The Islanders kind of need a little bit of everything. I kind of think they might go Juracek here, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm gonna go. I'm looking at my board here. I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Igor Chernyshov.
Ooh, Igor Shishernov. I don't
Chernov.
know how to say his name, but I like to say the name.
Yeah, playing from Dynamo Moscow, so a Russian league. I think that's the KHL, I believe, or one of the Russian
Yes,
minor
it is.
leagues. So I think
That's
you continue.
that's a little higher than where I would have taken him, but I think it's still a very good pick. Dude's a stud. Dude's a stud in the KHL. He's defensively a defensive, or a defensive forward, but he still can provide that offense.
It seems fitting
Um,
to the Islanders then.
yeah, I'm not too like I don't know. I haven't scouted Chernoff a whole lot, but I've seen Tibbets. But yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
Thank you very much. All right.
So for pick 19, and honestly, I'm think this guy could go higher. I think the New Jersey. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to take Teddy Stiga from the United States Development Program.
Ooh.
He's a little underrated, in my opinion, but a very hard worker. Plays strong defensive hockey. Has a high hockey IQ. Contributes on the power play and the penalty kill. So he's good. He's great two-way game. He doesn't lack confidence for a smaller guy though, and he can play in any situation. I really do think he could be one of the guys where we like, those guys where everyone's like, wow, they took him that high. It could be him. I could see him going as high as number 10.
So he's the Easton Cohen of this draft, is what you're saying.
Kinda, yeah, but he's small, but like he's not bad at anywhere on the ice. That's what I've been seeing.
He is committed to Boston College, is what I see on my board here. So he's going to take some time to develop, but Vegas, they got nothing but time, so they should be perfectly fine with that. At 20th overall here to the Chicago Blackhawks. So I went with the defenseman at second overall. I think with 20th overall, by the way, this is Tampa's pick. I think they go with a winger of some sort potentially. I'm gonna go with I'm between two players right now. I'm gonna go with Tariq Periskak. I think I'm saying that right. I apologize.
Tariq Mirsek.
Yeah, Perisak.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much on Parasek.
Yeah, I don't know a ton either. He's a smaller forward, has 105 points in WHL, has good offense. Will take some time to develop. I don't think he's going to be like a guy that's paired with Bedard, but I feel like he's a guy that you would want on your right wing side, and I think he could be an effective, highly offensive forward. But he's going to take some time. He's a little bit of a raw prospect, and I think he's going to take a little bit to get there. So yeah, I have him going to Chicago at 20th.
Okay. At 21, I don't know, I got a bit of a surprise. Elliott's gonna draft Cole Hudson.
Oh boy, that's what I figured was going to happen. So, before you get into it, did your brother persuade you to do this?
No, I
Oh,
haven't talked to Dylan about the draft yet, so
oh wow. Okay. So,
I
talk a little bit on Cole Hudson here. I want to hear your thoughts.
like Cole Hudson. You see his brother Lane, and like basically, I don't want to like put them in the same category, but they're basically the same player. Like they're both smaller defensive guys, but offensively creative with the puck. Great. Cole essentially is great at deception, decepting uh, offenders to come towards him and get them off the puck. Uh, Puck handling, defensive game does need work though. That's the one thing I will say. He's a project. He's not going to come in immediately and be that guy. He's a project.
It's going to take a lot of time. I think that he's going to be in Ontario for a few years before he's fully an NHL player. But I think it's the right pick there. I've seen him go as low. I've seen him go like in the second round, even the points. So it's definitely. I think it's a good pick, and I think that LA's in for the long run there if they go and take Hudson at that 21st pick. With my last pick of this draft, going 22nd overall to the Nashville Predators, I look at them. They have a lot of defensemen, so I don't. So I'm gonna not take Juracek, who's definitely on my board. I'm gonna take Saka Boisvert. I think that they need centers, biggest thing. And I think that Boisvert is a good fill in there at 68 points in the United States Hockey League with Muskegon. I don't know. I'm not entirely too sure on the W or the USHL teams, but I think Boisvert's a good pick there, 22nd. He's a little bit bigger than some of the other forwards, and he is committed to, I think that's North Dakota. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Boisvert. It's funny. Our friend of the show, Tim, actually is from Muskegon, so he would know a lot about him.
Oh, Muskegon.
Yeah,
Tim's probably
probably.
yelling at me right now. Muskegon.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I think it's a decent pick for Nashville. Like you said, they need centers. He is a center, fills a need. It is driven by positional need, but some GMs do that, some GMs don't. So we'll see if Trotz ends up going down that road.
All right, final pick.
And then this
2024 mock.
honestly, I'm between two players because I feel like Toronto could go for a guy who's like a project, but I feel like this defense isn't rising, and I could see him going around this range. Leo Saline Wallenius.
Ooh. Okay, all right, found him. Interesting pick there. I don't know a whole lot about this guy, so elaborate.
He's a left shot defenseman. I'm just gonna get him in my notes real quick so I had him in my notes. Hang on.
From the J20 league. Wow. You know, typically Toronto goes with picks like that. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so Toronto does go with the guy. Like he's been rising, Wallenius. So I'm not too surprised. If he was here, I expect like if I was doing stuff for myself, I had him going to Chicago because I think that would be a decent pick. Chicago, like you said, for us we took Levshinov, so the forward makes sense there. But where I fucking wrote this down. Ooh, excuse me.
There you go, LeBlanc.
There we go. All right, Wallenius he's 6 foot, 176 pounds. So he's not like the biggest guy. He's a power play quarterback though. Like he's a guy who's gonna lead you there, like get you to the puck. He great 2-way game. He's not elite offensively, but he's good. He's good, but his bread and butter is defensive play. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, he's a good defensive defenseman. Obviously, he is a defender, and I think that's definitely what Toronto would want at that 23rd overall pick. So
I would describe him more as a puck moving defenseman.
Yeah, big puck moving guy.
Yeah.
So there were some notable guys that we did not select. Guys like Michael Haig, Juracek didn't go. We talked about him a lot. Kiviharu, Nikita Artamonov, Muse as well. I like him.
Muse, Emil Hemming, Tanner Howe, EJ Emery is a riser who we kind of just don't think big would go this high. Charlie Elick and Jet Lucchino are two guys who are also rising up boards. So, yeah, I like doing the joint mock because you get two different opinions. It's not just like because usually for me when I do a mock, it's like the same picks, like they're like swap though. This you actually have to think.
I agree. That's why I really enjoy doing it on all my platforms. So, is that all you got, Mr. LeBlanc James?
Really all I got. I think we're going to come back to another one when we're closer to the draft.
Yeah, probably around like maybe right after the Cup finals have concluded. We'll come back and make another one here. But regardless, we'll see you guys then. But thank you all for watching. If you do want to go follow our social medias, be sure to follow the Nordblock Pod on Instagram. It is at Nordblock Pod. If you did enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe down below. If you're watching, if you want to listen to some episodes of the Nordblock Pod, you can go and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere you find your podcast platforms. But that'll do it for us. We thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Ciao.